Welcome to the Story-Eyed Podcast. My name is Brendan.
And I'm Jen. On this show, we talk about all things Williams syndrome. We're excited to share our community with you. Thanks for being here.
Oh man, they were great, and you were great, Brendan.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That was that. Apparently, they didn't read my email all the way through because when we popped on, they didn't know Brendan was going to be on.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
You'll see the two of their faces light up, going, Brendan. Oh,
Yeah,
Brendan.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, hey.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear this episode.
Yeah.
So tell me your highlights.
It was really fascinating. It was great Brendan has shared a bunch of stories from his time at the Lifting Lives camp, and they're great. It was fun to hear their perspective on what they saw, whether it be from Brendan or other campers. And from a scientific perspective, what is it that they were learning, and what is it that they would see? And it was really fascinating. You can really see Dr. Dykens truly seems like one of these, as she said, she had this idea of let's do a week-long music camp and combine it with studying and investigate this connection. And it's like you can just tell talking to her, she's a person who her brain works differently and creates pathways that others aren't going to see. And we all benefit from that. We all benefit from the knowledge that she helps bring out by thinking out. It's a cliche, but thinking outside the box, thinking outside the bun. So yeah, I thank you, Brendan, for helping put me in touch with them. And
I thought it was time. They're like my dearest friends, and they're such great people, and but we should have them on the pod. So that's why
they were fantastic. So how are you guys doing? How are things?
It's fine. It's fine. Just thriving in May-cember.
Yeah. End of school year going okay?
End of school year, yep, it's going fine. We're wrapping up. We're doing lots of activities. There's so many activities. Do you have a lot of activities as well? How'd the Chili Pepper Challenge go?
Chili Pepper Challenge was a lot of fun. Had a good turnout. Lots of friends, lots of family. We had some new people some new friends and stuff that came, and some of them were like the dads of some of Bennett's teammates and some brothers. And one guy is my nephew's best friend, and he thinks Bennett's pretty cool. And so he came out and he was like, I'll try. He made it all the way through and ate. We had 4 people eat all the way through and eat the Carolina Reaper even.
Wow.
4 or 5. I actually decided last minute to participate. I was feeling masochistic or something. And
I'm feeling strong.
I'm
feeling ready.
Strong. Yeah. And it was the peppers by and large were delicious, and we've had really bad Thai bird chilies in the last couple of years, and we found a different provider or different varietal of Thai chilies, and they were much better. It was obviously better in terms of taste. It was not better in the sense that it still was freakishly hot.
Yeah.
And our habanero was very much on the high end of the Scoville scale for habaneros.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, I'm done. This one kicked my butt. I made a beeline for the ice cream so fast and just was like, stuck my tongue on, stuck the ice cream sandwich, just rested it on my tongue to try to just cool it down. But it was really great. We had a lot of fun. We had 4 people with Williams syndrome come out, and shout out to Laura and the Paul family, Luca Paul and Laura Burden. They came out and hung out a little bit. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then we went down and had our annual bridge lighting where I
Yes.
got one of the bridges lit up. And that was a disappointment.
Oh no.
The city didn't like the bridge up in our colors. It was just green. And we had a huge turnout of families down there.
No.
We had like, I think there's seven or eight families all came down for the bridge lighting. So while the bridge lighting part was a failure, it was still really awesome to just get together because we don't do our walk here in the Twin Cities until September. So just having a chance to catch up with everybody again, it was really lovely. Tammy from the Bloomington Association in here in Minnesota. She came down to the bridge lighting to meet some of the families. She's our main contact person who will be
For
helping us
Minnesota,
with the
sure.
28 convention. Tammy will also be in Buffalo to answer any questions about
Awesome.
Minnesota that people have. So it was
Sweet.
wonderful to have her out there and meet some of the families. It was really so that was great. And it's like things like the bridge failing us, but this little boy named Callum who had boots that lit up when he would stomp on them and they would light up blue, green, and red.
Perfect.
And so it's
Perfect.
like we would have been so focused on the bridge. I don't know that we all would have noticed that he has these shoes that light up perfectly in the color. So we're like, let's celebrate that. And then we all had a lot of fun going, maybe the city of Minneapolis is thinking next level. And they went green because green is the color of four-leaf clovers. And four-leaf clovers,
Sure.
1 in 10,000. Like that whole connection. Maybe they were thinking on another level. And I'm like, I appreciate all of you
Appreciate that. Yes.
trying to put lipstick on this pig. But so
Well, at least
unfortunately,
they got one of the colors. At least
They-
you
Yeah.
didn't show up and it was like purple.
so that was exactly what Bennett said because I was like, because of course I organize this and I get the bridge lit up every year, and it's just something that I've
Like Christmas vacation. You're like,
yeah,
and
and
then,
it was
yeah.
like, and so I was feeling down, and Bennett just goes, "Now, Dad, is green one of the colors?"
No.
And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "Well." I said,
We're
well,
okay.
I said they got 1/3 of it correct. I said, unfortunately, this isn't horseshoes where getting close still gets you points. Kind of needed those other two colors. So,
So
but
the city of Minnesota is getting an email today.
I will be firing off an angry missive to
Do
the
better.
Parks Department of Minneapolis saying,
Do better.
y'all failed. And again, it's nobody's fault.
Nope.
It's the city of Minneapolis' fault, whoever plugs that stuff in. But from a perspective of our get together, it's
Right.
nobody's fault. But I can't help but to think, and we had so many family, it would have made such a great photo. It was going to be such a great photo.
Yeah.
But
Well, you still got a photo.
we did still get photos of all of us that were there. Some people, as soon as they saw that it wasn't lit up correctly, they were a little bummed out and left. So we didn't get a full photo of everyone that was there, but it was enough.
It sounds like your weekend was a success overall. I'm excited to hear this podcast and hear what the doctors have shared with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Do you have
terrific.
any takeaways, Brendan, from it?
It was just really good to see them. It's been quite a long time since I've seen those guys, and I tried to meet up with them when I was in Nashville for the in-person board meeting, but it just never worked out, which is fine. So it was nice to have them on the podcast and just be able to reconnect and just reminisce, and yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and I think everyone will enjoy the doctors, Dr. Roof and Dr. Dykens. They were really fun. They're just fun. They seem like really fun people,
Yeah.
and doing great work to help our community and understand how people with Williams syndrome think
Yep.
a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, enjoy this part.
Enjoy.
Hope everyone is having a wonderful awareness month.
Yeah.
And yeah, take care, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Hi, Hi, I'm Morgan Jane Starkman from Inner Sense Organic Beauty, and I'm so excited to share something that I love, our Hair Renew Scalp Hair Bath and Soothing Conditioner. Soothes my hair and soothes my scalp irritation. These products leave my scalp feeling truly calm, and they make me feel confident and cared for, and I think you'll love them too. Let's take care of our scalp and hair together. Try them today and save 15% on your first purchase with my code Morgan15 at InnerSenseBeauty.com.
All right. Well, hi, Dr. Roof. Hi, Dr. Dykens. It's so good to see you guys.
It's
You
awesome
too.
to see you, Brendan. I just was so delighted to see your image on the screen. You look great.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, for those who might not know who you are, why don't you two take a few seconds to introduce yourselves and tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Do you want to go first, Elizabeth, or should I go first?
I'll go first.
Okay,
I'll
go
be
ahead.
short.
Okay.
I'm Elisabeth Roof. I'm at Vanderbilt University and have been working with people with Williams syndrome since 2005, so 21 years. I love this population. It's a lot of fun, and we run a music camp really focusing specifically on the interest of people with Williams syndrome, which is music, and the connection for them making friends, making music, and obviously hoping to improve quality of lives.
Well said. And my name is Elisabeth Dykens. I'm professor of psychology, clinical psychology here at Vanderbilt University, and came to this fine university 20 years ago with a grant in hand to study people with Williams syndrome. But instead of doing the usual fly people in, have them spend a couple of days, work with them, give them some recommendations, send them out, I thought, let's do something different. This is Music City, USA. Let's do a research-based music camp. And so I had a hard time convincing my boss at the time, but I'm very persistent. And then I became the boss, and no problem. But so for 23 years now, we have run a week-long residential summer camp program based not only in research, but also in all things music, right? Song production, performance, working with Nashville's finest songwriters, singing on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry, which I'm sure you remember, Brendan, right? A high point.
How can I forget?
You can't. It's like one of those moments that's
Yeah.
etched in your brain forever.
Mhm.
So we love the work that we do in Williams syndrome, and throughout over the years, we've invited other scholars, other researchers to come and take part so that from their own perspectives, they can also learn about this incredibly rich and important condition from which we have so much to learn.
The Lifting Lives camp. So from the very beginning, was it also, because there's a connection between that and the Academy of Country Music? Has that been that way from the start?
No.
So we started out with grant funding and ran
Yeah.
it for several years, almost 4 years with just grant funding. And it was a small camp. 8 people came the last year. 31 people came the last year. So we have absolutely blown the doors off and
Absolutely,
really
yeah.
try to take as many people. They come from all over the country, including Canada, Australia. We've had people from other countries. We've had people who've never met a human with Williams syndrome until they come to camp. And it's so great
cool.
to watch the community and the sense of family. And as one young camper said, coming to music camp is like coming home. I think it feels like a big family reunion, and I love that part. But once we partnered with ACM, which was in 2009, they've have a lot of resources, and they've been really helpful when it comes to trying to find ways to kind of get plugged in, be it go to the Bluebird Cafe, go to Seacrest Studios to do a radio show. We've done all sorts of really cool things that ACM has kind of helped us connect with artists and people. And again, most people who come to camp, artist-wise, they can't wait to come back. Our music producer has been here 7 years in a row because he loves this population and he loves the week of music camp.
He looks forward to it every year.
Yeah, and you can see that from somebody on the outside, especially when the week is happening and those days after camp is concluded, the artists that come in, and you've had some huge artists come in and collaborate with the camp and all the campers and stuff, and you can just see how much who knows how if they knew anything about Williams syndrome. Chances are they didn't, but you can just see how much they were changed and how much they got out of the experience. And it's, oh my gosh, where's this been all my life?
Where have these guys been? I know. True.
So,
Yeah.
well, I always remember in Brendan a time when we were working with musicians and one of them said, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Of course." And he said, "This Williams syndrome, can I get it too?"
That's spectacular.
Not really, but you can enjoy being around them.
Yeah. Obviously, I get to work with this population every day, and my son has Williams syndrome, and so there is an element of no, I will never know what life is like as someone with Williams syndrome, but I can sure try to take away some of the wonderful positives that I see in my son and in Brendan and in others. I thought it might be cool. Brendan, you shared a couple times some stories of when you were at camp.
Yeah.
And the story you've shared the most, and I can't remember if you've shared it on air or not, but you've told me about it, is when you had sensors hooked up and you saw the brain activity.
Yeah, and my brain lit up like a Christmas tree. Funny enough, I still have that photo framed. Yep, still have it in storage downstairs. Yeah, that camp was amazing. I'll never forget the first time I actually performed at the Grand Ole Opry. After the realization of what just occurred and what happened, and the wall of emotions that just hit me like a ton of bricks. It was so special, so cool. It was so much fun.
It seems like it's hitting you like a ton of bricks right now.
Yeah, it brings up a lot of fond memories, and yeah.
Absolutely.
So if I can ask the two of you, what was it like the first time from a scientific level when you're starting this research and you're figuring out what sort of tests and things you want to run? What was like, I can't imagine as a researcher what it would be like to see Brendan's brain lit up like a Christmas tree, and what a fascinating that experience must have been for you as professionals.
Yeah.
How does an experiment, or how does something like that come about? Like, how do you go, okay, let's look at the brain activity, and what sort of things can you learn about the Williams syndrome brain from doing an experiment like that?
Absolutely. There are a lot of ways to interrogate the brain. Brendan, I don't know if you ever had an MRI or
I
did.
participated in that study, which is a bit more intrusive.
Yeah.
And that tells us what's going on where in the brain. For example, people with Williams syndrome might be processing sound or music or emotional content. But what you remember so well, Brendan, is when you had the net placed on top of your head for evoke response potentials, or ERP. And that gives us a really good sense of timing. Like, when do you respond, and how deep is the wave when you respond, when you see a picture or you hear a musical sound? And I think, to your point, Joel, the only thing we can do these descriptive studies, and in collaboration with wonderful colleagues who know a lot more about this approach than either Elisabeth or I do. But that said, for us, as we recruited other researchers into the camp, the bottom line was, how does this move the field forward? And how does it add to the quality of life and our understanding of what we can do to enhance the lives of people with Williams syndrome? We weren't interested, Elisabeth, in describing things. We wanted
that's kind of already been done.
We wanted to move it forward. So, Brendan, I don't know if was Brendan here for that camp, Elisabeth, when we did the mindfulness? Okay.
Yeah.
We did a couple years in a row, but
So
trying to take things that we already know about, other people have done with other populations, and trying to figure out, if we implement these treatments in people with Williams syndrome, what does that give them? Does it give them less anxiety, more connectiveness, more ability to let things go and not get stressed out, those kinds of things? And even when we had done the mindfulness, I remember, I don't even know, maybe a year after that, we were in Las Vegas doing the ACM award show. One of the campers who had been at camp was there, and she's like, I'm really freaking out about going on stage and doing this and performing. I go, you're made to perform this. And so she said, can we do some deep breathing? So as a group, we're all backstage doing the mindfulness techniques. And that's when you realize they're implementing these things in their day-to-day life. And that's really what we're going to do, translational research that makes people's lives better, not just learning about them just to put in some journal. That's not the focus.
It did go in some journal, but the important point is that fellow colleagues and the researchers can see, oh, people with this neurodevelopmental disorder can learn mindfulness-based stress reduction. That's pretty cool. But the impact was really with families and campers.
Yeah, it goes into a paper because there's value. There's like
exactly.
We learned.
Brendan, what kind of music are you making now?
Right now, I am in a 10-piece cover band.
Cool.
So we're doing all different songs from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Okay. My kind of music.
So yeah, we have a gig coming up 23rd of this month at a college graduation tent party for about 2,600, 2,700 people.
Awesome, buddy.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great.
And we're working on possibly getting some of the Can Do band.
The old Can Do band.
Yeah, and with the help of John Kent, who I know we have.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We have the Lifting Life Camp to thank for John Kent now. His whole life, we sucked him in, and he's one of us now. He's on stage.
Absolutely. He told Ben's story beautifully.
Yeah. So we're working on how can we get them back together and play at the convention.
Very cool.
Awesome. And
in the meantime, Brendan, you need to know that I teach a course on developmental disabilities, and I show the Can Do band performing at the Best Buddies conference, and my students love it.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so cool.
Take the disc out of disability is the song I play for him.
Yeah, take this out. Yep.
Oh,
yeah, it's classic.
Yeah, little baby Brendan up there rocking out.
You know it.
You nailed it. You guys nailed it.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. You mentioned mindfulness and anxiety. And anxiety being very prevalent in Williams syndrome. On a personal level, dealing with that a little bit with my son, being a teenager, seeing anxiety rearing its ugly head sometimes. I'm not even sure how. This is why Jen is the other host, and I just produce in the background. She's better with coming up with these, like how to phrase the question correctly. I would love to hear the two of you talk a little bit about anxiety and Williams syndrome, and maybe what you've learned over the years.
So I think for me, it's so interesting how contagious anxiety is. So if you're in a setting with people with Williams syndrome and someone else is anxious, they absorb all that and they take that on. And we've had people be really upset at camp, like the weekend. I walk up and why are 5 people crying? And I will assume it's the person who's actually crying. And it's, someone told a sad story. And that made me feel really sad and worried about them. And all of a sudden, they too have these symptoms. And it's so interesting to see how in tune they are to things being off in the world, like we're anxiety producing, where we learn to let some of that go. I feel like they're really tuned into it, like their little satellite dishes are always looking for a threat, always looking for some worry. And so it's interesting to see. And I think your son being in that teenage years, I think that's when we see a real upswing, right? Because there's so many things they can't control, and there's so many things that are anxiety producing. It's cool to see people over time, like we've seen some of our campers for 20 years, to see how that sometimes gets better over time. They learn to cope, they learn coping strategies, they learn to let some stuff go. So that part's really interesting to me to see how contagious it is, but also their ability to cope and problem solve and to make it better so that they can manage.
And some of those anxieties are also sources of fascination, which to me is really interesting. So you can have an aversive sound and yet be attracted to bells or drums or other sounds. One can be very anxious about different fears that likely won't happen, but show absolutely no social anxiety and loving being the center stage and the life of the party. And so to me, Williams syndrome is a bunch of contradictions, right? So anxious, but not socially anxious.
Being scared of fireworks, but not wanting to miss the fireworks.
Right.
I might wear headphones, but I want to be there. And
Absolutely.
It's cool to see how they do gravitate towards things that they say scares them or worries them.
They are attracted.
Yeah,
that moth to the flame element is maybe the thing maybe the thing that fascinates me the most about getting to know people with Williams syndrome and seeing it in my son, he right now he and I talk a lot and we watch a lot of videos of roller coasters, and he's so excited at the thought of maybe riding one. He's ridden one big roller coaster in his life, and he had the greatest time. It was the Slinky Dog roller coaster at Walt Disney World, and he loved it. And he was he was quite young at the time, but he watches some of these massive, roller coasters, and he's fascinated by it. And then I can't remember, it was the other night, this past weekend, someone was asking him about roller coasters because he had mentioned something, and he goes, "Yeah, I really love watching the roller coaster." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Okay, so I think there's an element of him that he really wants to ride, but he's also recognizing in himself that I don't know that I actually need to ride.
I've done that. I've done it. Check.
Yeah, like I've watched the point of view video on YouTube, so I feel like I've ridden
Like the same thing.
Yeah, that and the how in tune people with Williams syndrome are to the energies and whatever is going, all these things that are happening in the world that we can't see. And I've never really been like a touchy-feely granola energies of the universe type of guy, but it's hard to deny that people with Williams syndrome seem to be much more in tune with the energies of the world. And one of the things that fascinates me about my son is his connection to all of those energies from a positive and negative. Obviously, like you had mentioned, but the crying story like one person told a sad story and all of a sudden everyone just takes on those emotions. We get that. We see that in Bennett, even when we are finding something so funny, like we're watching a comedy of some kind and we're just something happens that's so funny it's almost bringing us to tears that we're laughing. And Bennett, just the energy of our emotions overwhelms him, and he just is like, "You guys," and we're like, "Buddy, sorry, we're just enjoying life a little bit here. It's okay." And it's just fascinating how the energy that we all put out into the world, seeing how it is absorbed, is fascinating to me.
I think that's why people talk about the increased empathy and ability to relate and to feel very deeply the joy of other people and the pain of other people. And so folks are really moved, like your son who got overwhelmed. It reminds me, Elizabeth, the story of one of our campers who went to symphony and became so emotionally overwhelmed by the symphony that she had to leave the concert hall.
It's just so much.
It was too much. And just so deeply touched and moved in ways that
we
and I don't have, except maybe you, Mr. Brendan, you have.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, Brendan, have you ever had experiences where it's like something is having especially a musical experience where something is so powerful that you're like, I gotta step back here for a second?
First time playing at the Grand Ole Opry, that I completely lost it after getting off stage. I went into a corner, cried like a baby, and it was so crazy. But it happened the second year too, the third year. And I was just like, oh man, because it's so cool because we don't get to have those special experiences like that often, and it's really cool and it's really special and it's really meaningful. And now people like us can say, hey, we've performed at the Grand Ole Opry.
And performed well.
Yeah.
Performed beautifully.
Yeah.
And always do a standing O.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's
not everybody gets a standing ovation, but Williams Camp gets it every year.
Yeah.
Sometimes they even have to postpone the show a little bit just because people won't stop clapping and standing. Yeah. So they have to wait a minute for the next act to start. So that's pretty cool to see. And that's the thing that the audience connects as well, right? You've got all these campers who have so many challenges and obstacles in their day-to-day life. You put them up on stage And they're absolutely at their best. There's something about being able to put them in their best light, the thing they love doing, and the thing that they're kind of meant to do which is use music to connect with other people. And I love that ability for people in the audience to feel that way. They've never met anybody with Williams syndrome. Right. We had a young lady from Canada who was in our first audience, and she was sitting up in the balcony, and we had an after party, and she kind of came to the backstage and asked if she could come back there. She was from Canada at the Opry, never met anybody with Williams syndrome, and the very next year she came to music camp.
So shout out to Amanda.
Remember Amanda, exactly.
Amanda. Love Amanda.
Yeah.
We'll talk to her.
One thing I want to make sure to get out there is that this isn't feel-goodery, or I sometimes refer to it as inspiration porn, where it's just like, this isn't, we're just giving people giving them, they have a developmental disability and we're giving them a chance to have this fun experience as some sort of, whether it's pity or whether there's science behind it. There's real world applications to this. And this is something that comes from an earned place. Music and Williams syndrome have such a strong connection by and large that and I don't think I haven't been fortunate enough to see any of these performances live, but seeing the videos of them, the audience and the artists aren't responding to, oh, look at them. Oh, isn't that inspiring to see them? They're reacting to this energy that is being put out by these artists that happen to have a developmental disability. And the songs that are being created over the course of the week, some of them are bangers and just get everyone going. So
it's this idea of this Make-A-Wish thing where we're trying to make somebody's life better by giving them this opportunity. And I think in this case, it's completely symbiotic, because we make their lives better by getting the artist, writing the songs, helping support them through that week so they can have a great week. But the thing that they give is the joy, the connection to music, the real love they have for music. And it's not pity. I think it's this kind of shared community that people just feel so honored to actually be there. And they are amazing, amazing people.
Yeah.
And there's such respect among the musicians that we work with, be them very famous people or the folks in the studio in the recording booth. I shared earlier the gentleman who asked a naive question, but an earnest one. Can I get Williams syndrome too? I think that really reflects the gift that these folks are sharing us, not out of pity, it's not inspiration porn by any stretch. It's a mutual respect for the musicality and the gifts that this community can provide.
And even the question and answer sessions, the artist always gets a chance for the campers to ask them questions. And sometimes you never really quite know what they're going to ask. There was one time we had an artist, a country artist, and we had said there were a few things that were off limits because you have to do that. Yep. And the first person said, do you have any tattoos? And my eyes just immediately, and he said yes. And he showed her on his shoulder, and we were laughing. The questions people ask are so amazing, from chronology of like all their albums, all their songs, who they produced with. They know things that no one else would know. They're so esoteric. They're so minutia. And I'm like, wow,
they know all
how do you know that? And the artist will go, that is such a great question. They're genuinely surprised that people who have no disabilities are better able to understand music and what it means to the artist than almost anyone else. That's so cool to see that in action.
Yeah, I'm very excited for when Bennett gets old enough to come, because he is like that, specifically with the band Toto. His favorite band in the world.
They're like music critics.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They correct the guides at the Grand Ole Opry Museum.
That's actually not true.
No, you got the year wrong.
Yep.
It's great. Yeah.
We talked about the mindfulness tools and breathing and things like that. Can music also be a way of distracting out of an anxiety spiral?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like me, I listen to calm music when I'm anxious, really calming music, or like even just calming sounds. You know how on YouTube they have those like however long hour videos of just like calming noises, or like rain or anything like that, just to like come back to center, Brendan.
Yeah. said, and you are exemplifying what Aristotle said centuries ago, and that is that music has the power to cure all ills.
Yeah.
All right. So you just exemplified that beautifully.
And for most of our campers, their parents will say that if the camper gets upset, the number one tool to calm them down is music. They're like, if they can have headphones or listen to music or whatever else. And I'm sure Brenda remembers many years ago, thunderstorms are things that people with Williams syndrome do not like. And we have
a lot of them in Nashville.
Significantly loud and noisy thunderstorms every night. So when I came in at 6 a.m., all the campers were up. They'd been up for hours because they were so anxious. And so I still remember the music director just started singing Amazing Grace, and everyone joined in, and everyone swaying. And I remember kind of going, what is happening? But it was so cool. And at the end of that, it was like everybody's, I'm going to go back to bed.
Everyone's chill.
Went back to sleep. I'm good.
Yeah, that's spectacular. As we wrap up here, is there anything else that either one of you or both of you would love to share with the community? It is May, it's Williams Syndrome Awareness Month. Anything that you want to tell people about, or can people reach out to you? I want to make sure that you have the floor here for these last few moments.
I feel like we've said it all.
I think we've said it all too.
Yeah.
You guys really have.
I can say is that the Williams Syndrome Association is so. Elisabeth and I work in other rare conditions, and I have to say that your association is a model for other rarer conditions even than Williams syndrome. So kudos to the Williams Syndrome Association. Nothing but total respect.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. On a Monday morning, especially, I will take that and I will feed on that the rest of the day. Thank you both so much. It's been
Brendan,
so wonderful.
Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you
how much pleasure it brought Elisabeth and I.
Next time in Nashville.
The next time you're in Nashville, we'll have to go to Forks, my friend, and go do
Yes.
Love it.
You've been listening to the Starry-Eyed Podcast, presented by the Williams Syndrome Association and sponsored by InnerSense Organic Beauty. The show is hosted by Jennifer Keaton and Brendan Lemieux and produced by me, Joel Listman. All music by Tommy Barbarella and Mariella Elm. Got a question for the show? Email us at podcast@williams-syndrome.org. Video version of the podcast available on the Williams Syndrome Association channel on YouTube and on the Starry-Eyed Podcast page on Facebook. Audio version available wherever you get your podcast delights. So like and subscribe and help spread some Williams Syndrome awareness.